Great robe of liberation, field far beyond form and emptiness, wearing the Tathagata's teachings, saving all beings. Hello. Today I would like to talk about my meditation practice, how it's going, the challenges I'm running into, how I'm overcoming the challenges, just kind of remembering gratitude, the things to be grateful for, just all of the things that come up are opportunities to deepen my meditation and become more mindful, and all of the challenging people, friends, family, and coworkers behaving non-virtuously, things that come up that make it difficult, are just there to help deepen the meditation. So I find that making music is very helpful. I really enjoy making clarinet, violin, and piano pieces, kind of like jazz or classical melodies and chords with the piano and the clarinet and the violin playing, trying to stay in key and stuff like that. And then I'm finding that I'm learning guitar very slowly. It's very difficult for me to learn guitar. I have kind of a basic sense of how to make the chords and the melodies, but if I really wanted to learn guitar well, I would have to take lessons, I guess. I'm not sure if I want to do that right now. And so I've been reading Gravity's Rainbow, The Great Hunt, and Crime and Punishment. I'm almost done with Crime and Punishment. It's a really interesting book about someone who commits 2 murders, and then I'm at the end, and now he's going to admit his crime and go to prison in Siberia for a number of years, and Sonia, someone he's been interacting with, will, I guess, help him, and he'll like redeem his soul or whatever, I guess. So it's has to do with like Christian themes, I guess, because Dostoevsky in that time and place had that as part of the cultural thing that was going on. So then also Gravity's Rainbow by Thomas Pynchon is difficult for me to understand. I think it's kind of like complicated writing. I might have to like reread bits of it to understand what he's saying, or like watch more summaries and analysis videos of Gravity's Rainbow. And The Great Hunt by Robert Jordan is the second book in the Wheel of Time series, and they've basically been going after like a horn, a magical horn that can summon people. And the thing is that the main character, Rand, is called the Dragon Reborn, and he's one of the only males who can summon channel the One Power, which there are women called the Aes Sedai who have this magical gift of channeling the One Power, and they have special rules about like they're not allowed to lie, they're not allowed to make weapons that men can kill each other with, things like that. And so the Aes Sedai have survived through time because they implemented these rules so that the kingdoms wouldn't attack them, because they saw that they weren't just wild and doing whatever they wanted, that they would not, that they're not a threat. So that's how the Aes Sedai survived, I guess. And I have watched the Wheel of Time series on Amazon Prime Video, and I enjoyed it, and that's why I started reading the books. I'm maybe about halfway through The Great Hunt. I've been studying Spanish and Japanese on Rosetta Stone, and also in every other way that I can find to expose myself to these languages. I just kind of arbitrarily chose Spanish and Japanese to focus on, but it helps to narrow the focus, I guess, of learning stuff like that. I'm playing 4 video games right now. Sonic Frontiers, Chrono Cross, God of War, and actually, Valkyrie Elysium is the 3rd game. I'm not sure which version of God of War, what the full title of the God of War game is, but it's the newest God of War game. And it came with my PS5. I'm really enjoying PS5 so far. The technology is becoming so amazingly powerful. The load times are very fast. The frame rate of the graphics is really amazing, and the graphics is really good. Work is going well. I'm getting everything done. Putting in extra effort, trying to be spick and span, making everything ready for the next person, and putting in extra effort when I can. I'm still drinking too much alcohol. I need to stop drinking alcohol. I'm eating pretty healthy, trying to have vegetables as much as possible. My work is like all the exercise I get, like lifting heavy boxes and stuff like that, and walking on my feet all day. So I get that, a good amount of exercise at work, I guess. I don't really have to go to the gym or anything. I haven't had a gym subscription in years. What else? So there's other stuff I like. There's a lot of books I'm kind of reading, but I try to focus on like a smaller number of books to get that done more. And one of the other things I wondered about is if I'll ever go back to trying to get really technically proficient at playing like Mozart and Beethoven and Charles Mingus on the piano, playing sheet music. It's kind of like, you can't focus on too many things. It's better to like narrow down focus to certain things. And then I've been kind of like donating small amounts of money to charities. I don't make that much money. I'm fairly poor. But when I try to sometimes donate money, and it's really like putting the thought into it, like I won't spend this $5 on alcohol. Instead, I'll spend it on a charity or something, so that's helpful. I've been watching a lot of Jordan Peterson YouTube videos. Jordan Peterson is like a psychologist from Canada, I guess, who's famous, and I've read a book of his, and I'm on the 2nd book. It's an audiobook version. And then I've also been trying to get through Michelle Obama's book. I think it's called Becoming. Yeah, and then I'm also learning, I'm watching a DVD about how to write best-selling fiction. I'm trying to remember the name of the person who made it. James Scott Bell, novelist and writing instructor. Trying to learn how to write fiction. I've been starting like writing, like one paragraph with the title. It says by Jeremiah Oakes, and then I'll have like a starting paragraph, and I've written several and they're not very good, but then I got to one now that's reasonably containing what I want it to, and it says something about a bipolar autistic Buddhist working in a restaurant in Fairfax in 2022, and so that's kind of what I want to write about, is an autistic bipolar Buddhist working in a restaurant, because that's my reality, that's what I am. So then obviously I want to talk about like the, the non-duality meditation stuff, like how that fits into working in a restaurant and stuff like that. And um, so that's, I guess that's kind of my summary of what I've been doing. I wonder about like I think it's called Advaita, the non-dual meditation stuff. I wonder. I wonder about the different integral levels that Ken Wilber talks about, how like everyone's truth is like correct at their level of understanding, kind of like even, like Putin attacking Ukraine, like from his perspective, he's doing the right thing. So it's kind of like weird to think about those kinds of things. But then like obviously the integral, like first and second tier, whatever it's called, the top levels of like mindfulness that are accessible to humans in this time and place, you know, those things are like isolating, because like I can't really talk to people like my parents or friends or coworkers about those things necessarily. It's like it's hard to find contact. Like maybe talking to people through YouTube or something would be the only way that I would like be able to discuss those things. And so I have to obviously learn more and research these things. I wonder about things like Reiki and the Maharishi effect, and then CE5 obviously, and the 1111 synchronicity, and how all these things fit together. And then I'm kind of like losing interest in the weird paranormal stuff, and I'm finding that the spiritual journey and spiritual truth of the universe is something much more, I don't know what the word would be for it, but like more numinous or something. It's like, it's not even like something so heavy-handed as like a synchronicity like that. It's like something, there's something, it's like the energy that animates creatures. It's the same, you don't have to use the G word, but it's like, that we're all one consciousness, and that there's only one mind, is what the physicists would say. And so, all we can learn is that we're ignorant, and that's what I'm finding, is that I'm lacking, and that's good, because that allows me to experience the learning process and grow. And so I'm trying to understand the symbolic relevance of things like alcohol in my life, because it does have, like within the context of Tibetan tantric practice, alcohol has like a significance which is kind of more complicated than just what a normal person would think of it as. So, because when you access things like Sahaja Nirvikalpa Samadhi, which is like basically the highest level of meditative absorption, it introduces like a very strange dynamic into the way that you interact with reality. And sometimes I feel like the only way I can really talk about that is through like abstract forms of art and stuff like that, rather than, because I know that like I followed people, many different kinds of people who have like said what it is poetically, through words, through writing, or through talking. So it is possible, or through poetry. I followed, of course, like poetry slams in Berkeley and Santa Cruz. And when I was going to college, I went to a lot of poetry slams, and I performed a couple of poems. So poetry is kind of what I'm talking about, but also prose. But because I feel like I've done a lot of things that I would consider successful within visual arts, 2D arts, and then also music. I've done things that I've really liked, but I don't think that I've really succeeded at like writing and speaking. The truth about Sahaja Nirvikalpa Samadhi. I have the raw data of the experience of the Sahaja Nirvikalpa Samadhi that has happened within my mental mind stream, my heart mind. It's taken place a lot, and it took place a great amount yesterday. But then you can't just like say that, because that doesn't tell anyone anything. And so you have to show what it is. Like, I'm trying to find out if I can write prose that can convey what Sahaja Nirvikalpa Samadhi is. And like, obviously, if I persevere, eventually I can hopefully communicate what Sahaja Nirvikalpa Samadhi is. But